All right, folks, welcome back. So today we had Fed Chairman speaking at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You can see that here. Now I'm going to kind of work backward today, and I'm going to talk about the 1 minute chart, work our way back out to a higher time frame. So it's kind of like a bottom-up analysis. Ahead of the 2 o'clock in the afternoon Fed Chairman jawboning session, we've seen this little Judas swing here, and notice that it just fell short of the morning high, and the high comes here at 12,535.5, and over here in the morning session, 12,535.75. So it fell 1/4 of a point, or 1 tick short of that high. So it runs up after clearing relative equal highs, then breaks lower, no model short in here. Then the market drops once more below relative equal lows. Now, what are these lows here? These are the lows in lunch hour, New York lunch. Okay, here's noon to 1. And I taught you in the mentorship that many times when there's an afternoon continuation to the upside, you'll see that the lows at lunchtime will get swept. And we're seeing that here. Now, it dug down deeper into an area which is below the relative equal lows, and the market drops down below that. And then all of this right here was manipulation. And there was lots of manipulation. Initially, the market rallies up. So it starts off like it's going to go up to that level we were looking for and falls short of it and breaks down. So what's actually happening is buy stops are being triggered. So anyone that wants to go long on like bull flag patterns and things like that, they're buying and then they're getting taken against their long with drawdown until they either stopped out, or if they don't have stop loss, they get squeezed out so they can't take it anymore. They just bail out. Below the relative equal lows, any long holders from the morning, they have trailed their stop loss below here. So they take them out. Why? Because they don't want them being able to profit to the real move. What was the real move? I hinted at 12,553.25. That was a draw on liquidity. So we took out the New York lunch lows here. And what I was suggesting here is shorts are about to be squeezed as it rips higher into 12,500. As I was watching it run up. Then it broke down. I was like, okay, they're going to take the liquidity out below here and dig into this imbalance, pick up some more orders, and then all of a sudden it starts running up. And then in here, we have order block. It trades into that multiple times, rallies up. Fair value gap, I outlined that. It didn't get into it, but I was allowing for that type of movement. And then at 3 o'clock, the algorithms will start to spool price in the direction for the liquidity, which was that 12,553.25 level, which it hammers there. Let's go and take some of this off. Okay, and I'm going to take you to a 5 minute chart. Okay, now it doesn't look so obvious in here as to what may be available, but we just bumped below that high early on in the morning, then broke down, and all the liquidity resting above here was treating the retail market like, hey, you can trust us. This is resistance. It's not going to go up there. And then when it starts to sell off like this, notice that my model did not give a setup this morning, or not this morning, but this afternoon. It didn't give the setup in here. Even though it did run buy side, it did sell off. It did not give a setup. Notice that? It's important to notice that. So if some of you are fearful, what happens if I take a trade and it's wrong? Hopefully you see that like this all the time, but you'll find that when the market's really in sync, these algorithmic principles will not appear in markets that are not likely to deliver as I'm showing you. So hopefully you can see that there are times when the market does sell off, but it doesn't give us a setup. But then it creates the real move the other direction where you can find my setups and the formations of the fair value gap and such. So obviously, you can see that the market did in fact trade down into the imbalance on that 1 minute chart, and it rallies from there into the 12,553 level. And I'm going to go out to a 15-minute time frame. We had an imbalance in here. It trades down into that as well on the 15-minute time frame. Optimal trade entry here, and rallies up for the buy side liquidity. Again, aiming for that 12,553.25, and we'll look at a 16-minute chart. Okay, and the market trades back down into all of this here and rallies up. And this was that area I was telling you about a week or so ago, that this is what we're looking for. And we have now just pressed up into that area. So let's go over here and do this. And I think we'll use this one, just the higher one. You can see we did in fact clear that out. That's where that 12,553 level and a quarter rather came from. I'm not suggesting that we're making a high here to go lower. The next area on the upside, it's really sloppy over here. I would look for this one here next. What is that high? 12,624 even. And if we start to really run, we could revisit this area here, but I'm not going so far as to say that for right now. But just look for this one here. That's a nice one to look for in the next upside right there. I think that's a fair one to anticipate and study. The daily chart. There we go. Relative equal highs in here. We ran up into that. So that's that whole business based on that daily chart, as I was talking about in, I don't know what episode it was recently in the mentorship on YouTube. So hopefully you guys can see that that is in fact what we were working with for daily bias. Yes, the market did in fact create, a big run lower, and then create another run lower here, but that wasn't my setup. I was drawing everyone's attention up to that 12,553 level, and this was the run that I liked. And it's a little bit of an advanced idea, but I did teach about the general factors that go behind PM or afternoon session trading. If you're bullish and it consolidates in lunch, find the lunch lows, wait for it to run that out, and then they'll resume. And it's right out of the teachings in this mentorship on this YouTube channel.